Hi, I'm Dwayne Duggan, Remax Boulder Podcast. Today we have Todd Ullrich with us. Todd has a company called PG Rentals. He takes care of about 250 rental properties, so it's great to have Todd on the show. Managing that many properties, he's able to have quite a unique perspective on how properties perform. Today we're going to be talking about how investors analyze investments. So Todd, thank you for being here.
Thanks, Dwayne.
So how long have you been managing in real estate in Boulder, Colorado?
We're in our 15th year. We started out managing student rentals up on the hill here in Boulder, and now we manage just about everything residential.
Okay. When you have somebody come in and wants to talk about analyzing investments, what do? How is the market analyzed?
Good question. It's a big question, and there are a number of different ways to take a look at it. Most investors use a few of the same metrics no matter what it is they're analyzing. Things like gross rent multipliers, capitalization rates is a really good industry standard for comparing investments. When we look at property here in Boulder, we obviously take a look at what it rents for and then use that number to project, based on the income, the value of the property and what future rents might be.
Okay, so these metrics are applied to all the individual units, or do you look at individual units separately using different methods? Or
Well, it can be a case-by-case basis. You can do kind of group analysis too, based on the type of property it is and the location. Most investors will want to look at specific addresses as far as the value of that property, what kind of cap rate and GRM they're looking at for that investment.
Okay, so let's look at some of the metrics that you just mentioned, and maybe we can even explore a couple more. The first one you mentioned was the gross rent multiplier. Can you define what the gross rent multiplier is and how that tool is used?
Yeah, that is, it's a little bit of an arbitrary number. It's one that's actually dictated by the market and not much else. The gross rent multiplier is the ratio of the price of the property to the income of the property. And so it's a great way to see apples to apples comparison, what properties are selling for, or if you're listing a property for sale, where you are in the pricing of that property. Gross rent multipliers in Boulder don't fluctuate a whole lot. They maybe move a few points year over year, but they are pretty easy to find based on the location in property.
So if you're interested in analyzing investments, some of these methods that we've talked about are pretty simple, just like GRM, knowing the price and what it rents. That's all the information you need. Where the cap rate, you have to know all the expenses. And then the internal rate of return, you have to gather information on your prediction as to what rents might go up, what values might go up. And then also, at the end, it calculates based on what you think your tax rate might be at the end. So the most accurate way to determine your internal rate of return, i.e. your return on your investment, is of course after you've sold it and paid your taxes for it to be the most accurate. Other than that, it's just a prediction. So. But I think like those basic tools, like when somebody comes to you and they wants to look for an investment property, you sometimes have to act very quickly, and the GRM will tell you real quickly whether the price is even in the ballpark based on your research. So.
Yes, it is a great way to compare apples to apples very quickly on the fly what the pricing looks like.
Okay, and as a manager, is that something that property managers keep track of, is gross rent multipliers on individual properties that you take care of? So
we do. Yeah, we do a lot of market analysis a couple times a year to see where cap rates, GRMs, price per bedroom, some of the standard metrics, so that we can track that when we see a building come up for sale, or if we have a client say, I'm interested in selling, it helps us with pricing that building.
Okay, and you just mentioned price per bedroom. Is there like a range of price per bedroom in Boulder?
Yes, it seems to get higher as we go along each year, but we do the analysis in the different sections of town. Right now we're seeing the price per bedroom on average in Boulder is about $180,000 for investment properties. The hill's a little higher and South Boulder is a little bit lower.
Okay, and just out of curiosity, a lot of these new buildings that are going up that look like condos but are actually rental units, are those newer ones pulling a lot more than maybe the older units up on University Hill or close to campus?
Some of them definitely are. Yeah, some of them have nicer amenities. They're newer housing with all the new features and energy efficiency. So some of them definitely do pull in a little bit more on a per bedroom basis.
Even though they're maybe a little farther away from school.
That's true.
Okay. Right, Todd, anything else you'd like to share?
No, thank you very much.
Okay, thanks for being here, and hope everyone enjoyed these tips on how to analyze real estate investments. Thank you. Dwayne Duggan of Remax Boulder Podcast signing off.